Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Anari's Journey. Today's video is going to be week 27 and 28 of my pregnancy update. I do remember that I said I would be doing these every week, but I just find that not much really changes every week, and it fits into my schedule a lot better to do these every 2 weeks. So from now on, I will only be doing these every 2 weeks up until baby comes. I'm going to go over baby again. Then I'm going to move on to myself and talk about my symptoms, my cravings, what's really changed within the last 2 weeks, what hasn't changed, things like that. And then I'm going to talk about my appointments, how those went, what was discussed in those, any changes, anything like that. And then we'll end the video with a baby bump shot. So baby is about the size of a winter squash. He weighs about 2 to 2.5 pounds and measures about 15 inches. The brain is now in charge of maintaining his body temperature, and it also helps him control his breathing. He has a huge burst of energy now, very active. He's constantly moving. I feel like this is only going to progress from here, so I'm just kind of preparing myself for all the little kicks and punches and squirms and everything that he's doing at this moment. And then his head is more proportional to his body. So instead of him having a really big head and little body, his body is now growing into the size of his head to make it a little bit more balanced and proportional. So as far as symptoms for myself, these last 2 weeks, a new one that I did not mention in my last video was PGP. Now that is pelvic girdle pain. I did have some of this kind of earlier on in my pregnancy. Again, I am high risk. I have osteogenesis imperfecta. I will be doing another video, hopefully sometime soon. My schedule is a little bit condensed right now, so I'm trying to space out where I can fit that video in. I feel like that video is going to be kind of a little bit long, just because I feel like not a lot of people are aware of that disability and aren't really sure exactly what it is and how it affects you and how it can affect your pregnancy and things like that. And that's pretty much all that's going to be talked about in that video. So it's mainly, when I'm getting up in the morning and or trying to move. If I'm sitting in one spot, sometimes it just hurts. It's kind of just a constant pain, honestly. Sometimes it's not there at all, and then when it is there, it's just completely horrible. The next symptom that I've been having is back pain. I did have that in my last video. It has not gone away. Sometimes it's gotten a little bit worse at times, I feel like. It's normally in like the upper mid area, about where your bra strap would lay on your back, and then my lower back as well. Depression and irritability. So this is a big one that I've been struggling with really bad. I didn't have very nice of a night last night. I don't know if you can tell, but my eyes are a little bit baggy, puffy underneath. That's because I did not have a good night last night. It's kind of everyday thing now, a constant feeling. I wake up irritable. I'm always like sad. I cry for things that I normally wouldn't cry about. And I know that's kind of normal with pregnancy, but I did suffer with a lot of mental health issues before I got pregnant. So it's kind of something I'm worried about, that I did discuss with my doctor, just because it is a normal feeling to have during pregnancy, but when you suffer from it before being pregnant, it's kind of escalates it a little bit more during and after. So that's something that I've really been struggling with. As far as the reasoning behind it, I feel like a lot of it has to do with my boyfriend. He works out of town, so he's gone for 5 days out of the week normally, unless we can afford for him to come back for a day and stay the night with me. But normally it's about 5 days that he's gone, so I'm at home normally by myself. And then just this COVID-19 situation kind of puts a little bit of strain on me as well, like not being able to have a baby shower like I hoped. I'm hoping that this goes away before July, which it probably won't, but if it does go away by July, then I could possibly have a baby shower right before baby is due, depending on how that all plays out. But that's another thing that's kind of been bothering me. I'm sure a lot of mothers that are pregnant right now, kind of nearing their end of their pregnancy, where you would normally have your baby shower, are kind of feel a little bit down about that as well, kind of have feelings that aren't the greatest about not being able to experience all the amazing things that most women are allowed to experience during their pregnancy. The next thing is fatigue. This is pretty normal for pregnancy. I think a lot of it has to do with being depressed. That has a lot to do with it as well. When I get very depressed and down, I get very tired. I kind of just want to sleep my days away. So a lot of it has to do with my body doing a lot of work, making another person, and then the depression kind of adds to it as well. So I tend to be a lot more tired, don't feel as rested as I should, kind of a little bit restless. Even when I do sleep, I still feel a little bit restless. So it's kind of not a good feeling, but we got to work with it here. And the last symptom that I have is constant peeing. I go to the bathroom all the time, like all day. It's so bad. I've basically almost peed my pants a couple times because it's just, I cannot hold it. I can't even, like, sometimes I can't even know that I have to pee. Like, I'll go to the bathroom and then I'll go do something and maybe I'll sneeze or have a little like cough or something, and I would just have gone to the bathroom and I'll pee a little bit on myself even though I just went. So it's definitely something I gotta get used to. TMI, you know, some people might not want to hear that, but it's just a part of pregnancy. It's a part of reality of it. And I thought I would share that with you guys. And then for cravings, I feel like I've been kind of in a weird spot with cravings. I still do crave breakfast foods, but I just feel like cravings haven't been very strong lately. I feel like a lot of that has a lot to do with being depressed and everything like that as well, kind of just not having an appetite for things. But the biggest thing I would say I've been craving is elote. If you don't know what that is, it is Mexican corn, and it is so good. That is like probably my biggest craving. I've been craving that for so long, and my best friend actually just got me some the other day, and I bless him, because that was like the best thing I probably ever ate in my life. And then appointments. So I had 2 appointments these last 2 weeks. One was with my high-risk doctor and one was with my OBGYN. So the appointment with my high-risk doctor basically talked about the baby, his growth, things like that. It was just another ultrasound to check and make sure that he's growing correctly, check for abnormalities, things that kind of spark a worry to them, and nothing did. I still feel blessed to have them tell me that. This last time that I went, I pray that it just continues to go that way, but nothing seems to be going wrong with him. He's growing perfectly. They did tell me that he's a little bit lower on the size chart, but he's still in a healthy size. He just was a little bit smaller, which I can understand. I am not very big, and neither is the father. He's not very big. I weighed about 145. My weight does go up and down a lot, but overall I kind of averaged it out. I weighed about 145. The second appointment with my OBGYN, that was where we discussed delivery and how I wanted to have my baby. So being high risk, I do have the option to deliver naturally or have a C-section. But because of the disability that I have and kind of what that means and how that plays out into your life, I did decide to have a C-section. That is scheduled for July 10th. So my baby will be here at 39 weeks exactly, as long as he doesn't decide he wants to try to come earlier. And then I did pre-register as well yesterday, just so that they have all my information, and it makes everything a lot easier when I go to deliver. The last two things was finding him a pediatrician or a family doctor, kind of discussing the difference between them, and then deciding whether I wanted one or the other. A family doctor did sound nice, but I do feel that I kind of would like a pediatrician, just because I don't know, I just find that it's more comfortable. I do want to discuss it a little bit more with my boyfriend just to see what he thinks, but I was leaning a little bit more towards a pediatrician, though we have not decided that yet. We're hoping to decide that by the time I hit 30 weeks, so that we can let my doctor know, so that when I have baby, she's able to give them all the information about what's going on with him when once he's born. And then breastfeeding as well. That was the last thing that we talked about. She kind of just went over everything and asked whether I wanted to bottle feed or breastfeed. I would like to breastfeed. Excuse me. Breastfeeding is my goal, the path that I would like to go down. So she did end up giving me this little booklet that she told me to bring with me when I go to deliver him, and they will kind of explain and show me exactly how to do it, explain tips and tricks for it and things like that. I'm gonna do my little belly bump shot, and then that'll be the end of this video. And then I will see you guys again in 2 weeks for my 29 week and 30 week update. So, oh, this is my bump. There's my bump. He's getting big. Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's my 27 and 28 week pregnancy update. I hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe, comment if you are pregnant or just like enjoying watching these videos. Ask me questions, anything like that. I reply to comments as long as they allow me. I did have some problems with comments last video, of people leaving them and me not being able to see them at all. I could see the messages and my notifications, but when I went to go and reply, I could not reply. I did try to do the thing where it gets spammed and like kind of you have to accept it, and it wasn't in there either. So I'm not exactly sure what YouTube has going on with the comments, but if I'm able to reply, I will reply to all comments. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you again in 2 weeks.